Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we are ranking the best shooting guards in NBA 2K22 MyTEAM. Now, before we hop into this video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 4,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day. Would really appreciate your support if you haven't already, if you do subscribe. Without further ado, let's not waste your time. Let's hop right into it. Start off with Buddy Hield. So Buddy Hield's a solid card. I think he's a solid B tier-ish. One thing I will say, just to keep in mind while I'm doing this tier list, none of these cards are primary. Well, they're all primary shooting guards. None of them are primary small forwards, primary point guards, guys like that. So there are cards on this list that may be really good at the shooting guard position, like for example a Kawhi, a T-Mac, a Terry, a Cade Cunningham, guys like that who aren't going to be on this list because they're small forwards or shooting or point guards or whatever. So just keep that in mind while we're ranking this list. But Buddy Hield is actually a very solid budget card option, especially offensively. 6'4" with 6'9" wingspan, so he doesn't have great size, but he does have hot spots from everywhere outside the three-point line. Elite shooting badges, solid enough playmaking badges, and decent-ish defensive badges as well. Defensively, he's not bad. The low block does hurt him a bit, as well as low interior, so that's not great, as well as the fact that he's not super tall, but offensively, he is elite. 92 speed excel is really solid. 95 shot three. He's got Kobe based on quick, which is one of the smoothest and easiest to green releases in the game. Quick dribble style, Kobe size up. Overall, SIGs are super nice. Jumper is amazing. Offensively, he is elite. Defensively, not the best, but definitely still a B tier type of guy. Klay Thompson is A tier in my personal opinion. Still, even this Diamond Klay Thompson, he's a stud. 6'6" with a 6'9" wingspan, hot spots from all 5 spots outside that three-point line. 90 speed and excel, 96 shot three, decent dunker, but really good defender, even solid block rating. Badge-wise, he's only got 4 hoffs, but they're catch, dimer, quick first step, and clamps, which are really good hoffs. Comes pretty complete on badges as well, except for a badge like Chef, chase down artist rim, brick wall. So there's a few badges you can't add to him, but he does come pretty complete already. 90 speed and excel is solid. Jumper is really nice. Klay's jumper on quick, definitely super smooth, really easy to green. I know a lot of y'all have used Klay this year. Y'all know how nice his jumper is. Shifty dribble style, Kobe size up, Braun, Pro 2 between the legs. Overall, moves good, defends well. Super solid card. A little bit outdated, but he's still good enough to be in the A tier. Sam Jones is, he's D tier because there's a couple guys in this list that I don't think are very good, but I think Sam Jones might be right up there with the worst of them. So unfortunately, I'm going to put Sam Jones in the F tier. Rest in peace, he died recently. But 6'4" with a 6'7" wingspan, hot spots from 4 out of 5 spots, 5 hoffs, which include catch, deadeye, mismatch, quick first step. But he doesn't have great size at only 6'4". Not the greatest of defender either. Offensively, he's mediocre, even with hoff, quick first step, and solid shooting badges. Needs a lot of defensive badges and playmaking badges added to him as well as shooting. He doesn't have enough spots for all the badges he needs. And jumper is good, I will say, but fundamental dribble style on a smaller guard, not exactly what you're looking for. His SIGs in the full court aren't great. Overall, he's just pretty mediocre. He's not the worst card in the world, but for a list like this that's really composed of only the best guys in the game, he's right about the worst card on this list, so I feel like he has to go in the F tier. In the S tier, in my opinion, the best shooting guard in the game is Dark Matter, Kobe Bryant. He's an absolute monster. 6'6" with a 6 level wingspan, hotspots from everywhere, 20 hoffs, including a ton of elite shooting badges, really good defensive like clamps, intimidator, pickpocket, and pogo stick as well. If you could find one with Hoff quick first step, definitely helps him out, but even without it, he's still incredible. Rim protector and brick wall are too bad to add to him, but otherwise really complete. Defensively, he's incredible. Dunking is incredible. Stats are just amazing across the board. Also Kobe based even on normal, super smooth, really easy to green, as well as the Kobe dribble style, which is the same as Shifty. Definitely a really good dribble style, as well as a size up, best size up in the game. Full court SIGs aren't great, but he does so much well on both ends of the court. He's an S tier guy, no question about it in my mind. Now James Harden. This Harden, I feel like I have to put him in the, is he D tier? I'll put him in C tier, I think, probably. I'm not super high on Diamond Harden. He's just outdated. And I am not the biggest Harden fan in the world. There are some people out there who love Harden. I'm not one of them. 6'5" with a 6'10" wingspan, which is decent, but not great size. Hotspots from 4 out of 5 spots. Only 4 hoffs, and they're not really crucial hoffs. Needs a lot of badges, especially on the defensive end, like interceptor, post lockdown, rebound, rim, chase down, brick wall, ball stripper. And that's just on the defensive area. Defense on the interior is really mediocre, and on the perimeter, it's bad on the interior, and it's mediocre on the perimeter. 85 driving dunk. He has good dunk animations, which is nice. Decently fast and a solid shooter. Jumper isn't bad, but it's not crazy fast. He's got fundamental dribble style, which while not terrible, is not exactly what you're looking for. He's just not a great option at this point. Not a bad card, but at this point, there are significantly better options. I think Harden deserves to be in around the C tier. Another guy that I'm actually going to put in the C tier is Dwyane Wade. At the shooting guard position specifically, I feel like he's just a bit small is one of the biggest flaws with this Wade card. Even Evo, badge and stat-wise, he's solid. 6'4" with a 6'10" wingspan. Really complete, even with despite the fact he can't get badges besides a badge like brick wall, post lock, and rim protector. Defensive stats are elite. Dunking is good. Athleticism is really good. Shooting really good. Badges are solid as well. Overall, he's a great card. The problem with him is that he's 6'4" and he's got the slasher dribble style. That is a big flaw in a guy who's not big and is missing a few badges and can't get them, and also has a bad dribble style. That is a significant flaw for a card that really holds a guy like D Wade back, especially because he's undersized, from being any higher than C tier. I think you could even make an argument to put him in D tier, but for me personally, I will slide him into C tier for now. Kevin Porter Jr. I guess he's probably B tier. I like KPJ's release. That does save the card a bit, I would say. Like overall, he's solid. 6'6" with a 6'9" wingspan, which is solid size. He's got a nice player build. Hotspots from all 5 spots outside the 3-point line. 10 hoffs, including mainly shooting badges. Also limitless takeoff and posterizer. Problem with this card, missing a ton of defensive badges. Really mediocre defender in the first place. Because it's an Evo card, you can't add any badges to him. He's a great dunker, shooter, and has good speed, but in a base dribble style as well, that hurts. Jump shot 49 on quick is nice, and he's got good size, but he's a very mediocre defender. Another Evo card who can't get badges. I'm sorry. Bad dribble style as well. He's got to go down in C tier. Jason Richardson. I think he's D tier. I was never a big fan of J-Rich, unfortunately. Not a very good unlimited reward. 6'6" with 6'11" wingspan is good size and hotspots from everywhere outside the 3-point line. Badges are decent, but he's another one of those cards who needs a lot of badges, not an elite defender, and doesn't have a good dribble style with power dribble style. I do not think this card plays very well. Doesn't do a ton of things well in the court. I don't like his dunks either. I feel like they get blocked a lot, despite the fact that he is statistically and badge-wise an elite slasher, and that doesn't help either. You want a guy who's got nice safe dunks and doesn't get blocked a lot, and J-Rich just isn't that guy, unfortunately. Not a card I'm a fan of. I think D tier is where he belongs. Ray Allen, I do believe, is S tier. I don't think he's a top 2 shooting guard in the game, probably, but he definitely is a really solid card. 6'5" with a 6'8" wingspan, hotspots from everywhere. One of, if not the best shooters in the game. Obviously, shooting badges are insane. Hoff quick first step, downhill, ankle braces, clamps, menace, and pickpocket as well. Only needs a couple badges like a rim protector and a brick wall, and has really good speed, really elite defense, a great dunker, great shooter. Everything about this card is incredible, besides the fact that he is only 6'5", not the biggest card in the world. Ray release on quick is absolutely money, though. He's got shifty dribble style, which is a solid dribble style. Overall, this card is elite. Maybe not the greatest level 40 of all time, but definitely a super solid option, and I think he 100% is an S tier guy. Mo Pete, excuse me, probably an A tier guy. This is a card that I haven't really looked at much, but he is 6'7" at shooting guard, which is nice size. Hotspots from all 5 spots outside the 3-point line. 17 hoffs, including a ton of great shooting badges. Downhill, quick first step, clamps, and Tim. Does need a few badges like a chase down artist, rim protector, post lock, but overall pretty complete. Defense is just decent, but he does have good badges and good size, which is nice. Good dunker, really nice athleticism and shooting. Jump shot 14 is solid. It's not the greatest jumper in the world, but it's definitely really quick and really solidly smooth. Maybe not the greatest green window, but it definitely is super easy to get off. Shifty dribble style and Kobe size up as well. He's a really solid card. Not the best defender in the world, but it is made up for a bit by the fact that he is 6'7". Solid card. Better than Clay. Probably the best card that will go into A tier, but I still think he probably is in that A tier of shooting guard. Rip Hamilton. I will be completely honest, I have not looked at this Rip Hamilton card at all. He came out today. I don't know how good he is. 6'6" with a 6'9" wingspan is good. Hotspots from everywhere. 17 hoffs, which are all shooting and defense, which is nice. Defensive stats are solid. Wish it was a little better on the interior, and maybe he had a couple playmaking badges, but he's a good dunker, good athlete, good shooter. Jump shot 40, at least it's on quick. On quick, it's much better than on normal, which is nice. Shifty dribble style, Kobe size up. He's a good card. He's a really good card. This is a very solid option. Maybe not the most incredibly elite, but he is definitely a really good option and definitely another A tier type of guy. Devin Booker. I'm going to go B tier on Booker. I know some people are very high on Booker because he does have an elite release. His release is super fast and super hard to contest, but not the longest wingspan, a mediocre defender, even with Hoff clamps. I just feel like he doesn't play great defense. No Hoff quick first step. He's a reward card. Needs a lot of defensive badges. Good dunker though, good shooter, good athlete, but slasher dribble style as well. That's a flaw. Really can't put him higher than D tier for me personally. Or I'm sorry, B tier for me personally, just because he doesn't have the movement required to be an elite offensive card, despite the fact that his release is really good, and defensively he's just mediocre at best. Dan Marley, I think, joins Jason Richardson as just guys who are super mediocre. A little bit slow, not an elite slasher, good but not great defender. On the perimeter, he's really good. Defense, interior, I mean, he's solid, but he needs a lot of badges and handles for days. Chase down, brick wall, post lock, rim protector. He's another lock-in card. I'm sorry, limited card, so he's a reward card. Jumper is good, but not crazy good. Fundamental dribble style is, again, good, not crazy good. He's not a great playmaker. He's just really mediocre. Not a card that I'd be running at this point in the year. I think you could definitely make him an argument for he's the fact that he's C tier, but I just don't think he's very good. So for me personally, I think he goes into D. Klay Thompson, unsurprisingly, is another S tier shooting guard. He's he's a beast. Even at this point in the year, this Klay is so good. 6'6" with a 6'9" wingspan, hot spots from everywhere. 16 hops, which are all shooting and defense. Only needs a couple badges as well, like brick wall, chase down, post lock, and rim. Really good defender. Even on the interior, he's solid, and on the perimeter, he's incredible. Solid enough dunker. Good speed, great shooter, same exact SIGs as the other Klay with the best size in the game. Shifty dribble style, a really nice jumper. He's an elite option still, a guy who I do expect to even see run in 250 squads or 250K squads this next weekend. And yeah, I probably won't run him in my personal 250K squad, but he's definitely an elite option at the 2. Joe Johnson is another one of those A-tier shooting guards. Definitely a really, really solid card. Maybe not the greatest card in the world, but he's really, really solid. On paper, he's absolutely phenomenal, I will say. Really good badges across the board. Does need a lot of defensive badges, but overall, he's super solid. Has good defensive stats, even on the interior. Good dunker, shooter, athlete. Jumper is super nice. Movement is super solid as well. He's a great option. I think he's really, really good. The fact of the matter is, though, with an 85 stamina, that doesn't sound bad, but it's actually a really crucial stat to have into the high 90s. And at only 85, he gets tired really quickly. I think his movement is a little bit hard to get open with sometimes, despite the fact that it is solid. And overall, solid card. I don't think I could put him in the S tier, but he is a great budget option and in A tier. I'm actually going to move Klay down to B tier just because he's a little bit outdated, and there's so many guys on this list. There's only so many guys on this list, so I feel like I have to kind of limit who I'm putting in what spot. But I do think Klay is still a really good option, but I am going to put him in the B tier. I'm going to put Luka in D tier. I was tempted to put him in F tier, but since he's my favorite player, that doesn't hurt. And he does have good size at 6'7", good defense because of the boost besides the block rating, which kind of sucks, but he doesn't get brick, chase down, post lock, or rim, which hurts. Only silver handles for days. Not elite playmaking badges or defensive badges besides half clamps. Defensive stats are mediocre, not an elite dunker, not elite speed. Shooting wise, his jumper is a bit glitchy. It's hard to contest, and he is a knockdown shooter for sure, but it's not the fastest and smoothest jumper in the world. It's just, for whatever reason, very hard to contest, which is nice, but movement sucks as well. I'm sorry, Luka. I wish you were good. I know we're going to get a godly Luka card in the near future probably, but we're not there yet. I'm actually going to put Luka in F tier. This is how y'all know I'm not biased, because that's my favorite player, and I'm going to put him in F tier because I just don't think he's a very good card. OJ Mayo, I think probably goes into the D tier just because he does have an elite jump shot, which does help him out. Otherwise, he'd probably in the F tier. Statistically, he's okay. 6'5" isn't great size. Solid speed, dunking, and shooting, but defense is really mediocre. Thankfully, he can get badges like a rim protector, quick chain, chase down, interceptor, intimidator, but he needs too many badges. Also needs limitless and chef, so he's not going to be complete on the badge side. Jumper is phenomenal, but base dribble style as well. I feel like he's just a worse Kevin Porter Jr., so we're going to put him one tier below and slide him into that D tier. James Harden. I'm going to put James in A tier because I don't think he's that S tier guy. I don't think he's on the level of the guys that I've put in S tier so far. So we're going to put him there. I think he's better at point guard for one, but 6'5" with a 6'10" wingspan. Hot touch from basically everywhere. 15 hoffs, including solid all-around hoffs, but no elite defensive badges. Does need still a lot of badges added to him, like chase down, post lock, rebound, rim, brick wall, ball stripper. So that's going to fill up all his badge slots right there just on those defensive badges. Defensive stats, though, solid on the perimeter. Not crazy on the interior, but not bad either. Good dunker. Again, his dunks don't get blocked much, which is super nice, and he is an elite shooter with good speed. Jumper is not the fastest jumper in the world. I'd like it to be a little bit quicker. If it was Harden on quick, I think it would be better, and he does have the fundamental dribble style instead of an elite dribble style. He's a solid enough option, though. His movement is a little bit glitchy sometimes, a little bit hard to stay with, and I don't think Harden's bad, so I think A tier is definitely a fair spot to put a guy like Harden. Dr. J is a guy who, when we get an updated card, could definitely be one of the best shooting guards in the game. 6'6" with a 6'11" wingspan. He's got a really nice player build. Does look taller than 6'6". Hotspots from everywhere outside the three-point line. 9 hots, including a bunch of good finishing ones, as well as catch, limitless, and sniper. He's a really solid defender. Does need a lot of badges, like, for example, inner, post lock, rim, brick wall, ball stripper, but he does have the slots to get them. Elite dunker as well. Good shooter. Great speed. Statistically, he is phenomenal. His jumper is really good. Rudy Gay release, even on normal, is phenomenal. And the problem is the slasher dribble style. That does hold him back a lot. If we get a Dr. J with better dribble style, he's going to be an elite option, but I just can't put him in any higher than C tier because of that bad dribble style. Jamal Crawford. I'm putting Jamal Crawford in F tier only because he's got a tiny player build. He doesn't play any sort of defense at all, which is a significant flaw. Offensively, he's solid. He's got decent speed, really good shooting. Does need a lot of badges, though. Limitless sniper, a ton of defensive badges. He really plays no defense at all, especially with his small player build, and that is a massive flaw for a guy at the 2. You can't really hide him anywhere, especially at the shooting guard position. Jumper is great, though. SIGs are solid. It's just he plays zero defense whatsoever. Not a great slasher either. Needs a ton of badges. Unfortunately, Jamal Crawford, your time time has come. You're just not very good anymore. Derek Anderson, I think, slides into that B tier along with the other really solid budget shooting guards. He is a tiny bit undersized at only 6'5". Doesn't get the handles for day badge or any of the interior defensive badges because he's an Evo card. But perimeter defensively, he's solid. He's a solid enough dunker, good enough speed. He's a good shooter. Shooting badges are great. His jumper is super nice, and his SIGs are good with the quick dribble style as well. The biggest issue with this card, no handles for days, no defensive badges. So he does struggle a little bit to be a sustainable creator and also to be that really good interior defender. So for that reason, I just can't put him any higher than B tier, but he is a super solid budget option at the 2. Is Michael Redd D or F? I think we can go D tier for Michael Redd. He's not terrible. I would never run the card at this point, but he does have decent speed, really good shooting, solid dunking, good enough defensive stats. Badges defensively don't jump off the page at you, but he does have the badge slots to get the rim, post lock, chase down, brick wall, maybe handles for days. Another issue with this card, though, is the fact that despite the fact that he is an elite shooter, he's definitely not a great creator with the base dribble style. That's a significant flaw, but his jumper is really nice. Rail and release even on normal, especially with all of his shooting badges. He's going to green a lot of tough shots. Definitely a knockdown shooter and a solid enough defender where he's not bad enough to be in the D tier, but he just doesn't, or F tier, but he just doesn't do enough for me at this point to be higher than D tier. Tyler Hero is yet another one of those guys who's just that mid-tier budget shooting guard. Fits in with all the other guys in the B tier, I feel like. 6'5" with a 6'3" wingspan. The wingspan especially, he's just not very big. But hotspots are everywhere, 6 hoffs, all shooting badges, comes pretty complete on badges besides defensive badges, does need like a chase down, brick, pogo, post lock, and can't get rim protector, so that does hurt a little bit. Defensive stats aren't great either. He's a solid enough dunker. But the thing that really sets this card apart is the Trae Young release on quick, one of the quickest and hardest to contest jumpers in the game. SIGs are really good as well with sifty dribble style, and the Pro 3 behind the back, Pro 2 between the legs, which is the best full court dribble 6 in the game. He's a great offensive card. Defensively, he's mediocre, but I think he's good enough offensively, similar to Derek Anderson, where he definitely does deserve to be in the B tier. I think Cliff Hagan is the last F tier guy on this list, probably. Not a guy who I would just run at this point. I just don't think he's very good. Only 6'4", so that's too small. 9 hoffs, but they're mostly shooting badges, and they're not really good shooting badges. Same thing with his defensive hoffs, not very good. Needs a lot of badges, not an elite defender, not an elite slasher, not elite athleticism, solid shooter. Jumper is fine, but it's not crazy. Fundamental dribble style is mid. He's just mid. He's not very good, unfortunately. Desmond Mason, I think, probably goes into the B tier, D tier, but I actually haven't really looked at this card, so I don't know 100%. But he is 6'7", which is nice, I will say. 6 hoffs, mostly finishing badges, good speed, decent enough shooting. It's easy to shoot this year. You don't need a super high three-pointer. 97 driving dunk is great. Defensive stats are solid. And he does get badges, which most Evo cards don't, because for whatever reason they let all-star cards get badges, which is nice, so you can add a limitless, a sniper, brick wall, post lock, rim, but he does need a lot of badges added to him as well, which does hurt a bit, especially on a diamond card. But jumper is elite. It's that same jumper as Kevin Porter Jr. has, and he's got base dribble style just like Kevin Porter Jr. Honestly, he's a better defender than Kevin Porter Jr., so I think I have to slide him into the C tier. Then we have A tier Kobe Bean Bryant. Pink Diamond Kobe even is still a great option at the 2. Big fan of this card. 6'6" with a 6'11" wingspan. Hotspots from basically everywhere. 10 hoffs, including a bunch of good shooting and defensive hoffs. Really good perimeter defender and decent on the interior. Can get every badge like chef, rebound, rim, brick wall, which is nice. And really solid speed. Same exact SIGs as the other Kobe. He's not as good as the other Kobe, but he's still a super solid option at the 2. If you're looking to run a Kobe, you can still pick this one up and have a ton of fun and a ton of success with him, and he definitely slots into that A tier. Then finally, we have Reggie Lewis, who I believe is definitely the perfect way to end off this list as another S tier player. One of the best defensive cards in the game at 6'7" with a decent player build. Phenomenal, incredible defensive tendencies, which is super nice. Also a good shooter, but an elite athlete, really good defender, really good dunker. Badge wise, he's phenomenal. Does need a few badges like a blinders, chef, post lock, rim protector, which is definitely addable to him, but he's incredible all the way around. Really good card. Kimber release on quick, shifty dribble style, Pro 3 behind the back, so he's got a good release and good dribble SIGs. He's an elite card. There is a chance he plays off the bench for me in 250. We'll have to see, but I definitely would say it's possible, and I do think he does deserve to be in the S tier for sure. So yeah, this is my ranking right now of the top shooting guards in the game. So let me know what y'all think of my tier list. Who did I rank too high? Who did I rank too low? There's probably 1 or 2 people that I left off this list as well, so feel free to let me know about it down in the comment section down below. And if you do enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.